Well, good evening and welcome to Senior Info at Plummer Place. Plummer Place is our senior center.
Okay.
So we rebranded, renamed ourselves just to kind of give us a fresher new look and maybe attract younger people, not younger people, but younger seniors that maybe early just had retired and
Right.
looking for something to do. And, you know, there's always that stigma of a senior center being for old people.
Right.
You know, God forbid.
Yeah, it's a
for old
place,
people.
not a center anymore.
Yeah,
It's
right.
a place.
It's a place. It's a fun place. And I'm Kelly Bowl from Plummer Place.
Right.
Um,
And
thank
our
you.
guest today is Rosa Sasha.
Rosca Sasu.
Yes. And
She says it best.
Yes. I have to worry everybody's
pretty.
name but my own. I just did a radio show yesterday with two people from Apple Home Care.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you give your own name
Yeah,
over
right.
there.
Exactly. You do it best.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I keep forgetting anyway. It takes me an hour, then I remember your name after that, but then we're off the years.
And then it's gone.
And then that's
So-
gone. Yeah.
So thank you for joining us
Yeah.
tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Rosa
It's a
has her
pleasure.
own franchise, which is Senior Helpers. It's like, what's that one, Angels?
So is it a private home care agency?
It's a private home care agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
But it's like that, Visiting Angels, the same
Like
concept.
that.
Similar.
Same
Yes.
similar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying that because I have people familiar with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do is you'll go to people's homes and take care of them.
Yes. So for senior helpers, we try to provide in-home care services just for seniors to age safely and independently in their own home. So we will go to the person's home and normally we do an assessment to see where care is needed for a start, and then try to put in place like a caregiver that has the right skills and expertise to be able to provide the care that is needed for that senior to stay safely and independently in their own home.
Now, depending on how much care a person needs, that's how many hours you'll stay?
Yes. So for senior helpers, one great thing about senior helpers is that we have our own proprietary tool called Life Profile. So Life Profile is our assessment tool, and that helps guide our decisions as to where care is needed. So after the assessment, it helps us to know where the risky areas are, and so we can be okay. So if mom wakes up in the morning, that's when she has like a highest risk for a fall. So we want to put somebody in there in the morning, and so Life Profile guides us as to where the risky areas are, and that's how we start by telling you, okay, we think mom will need 4 hours, 6 hours, or even 24-hour care. The level of care that they will need to be able to stay independently
Or
and
you
safely
can go
at
actually
home.
24 hours?
We can do 24 hours, yes.
Wow.
We have live-in care where people live with a client in their home to make sure that they are safe.
Oh,
and-
wow.
Yes.
That's really something. Because, no one, people really don't want to go into the nursing home.
No. Last resort.
I mean, that's the
Last
very
resort,
last
yeah.
resort. And that's what you're doing is helping them not to go into the nursing home.
Yes, people love to be in the comfort of their own homes and
Oh,
age
yeah.
there. They're familiar with the environment, and so the goal is to make sure that, we help them fulfill that choice and that wish and stay in their own homes, but provide the right care that they need at their homes.
And in some cases, they have a spouse that can take care of them, but in many cases, they might be single now,
Yes.
widowed.
Or the
Yeah.
spouse needs help.
Or the
Exactly.
spouse needs help as well, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. We see that a lot. We have people who, live with their spouses and then they can't do it all, especially as you age and you need more care. They can't do it all. So they call us, we talk to them about it. We go home and we try to find, when do you need some time for yourselves? I mean, there was a time that one of the clients, her husband wanted to go and have breakfast with his friends, and so we're going to put somebody here in the morning. They're going to come in and you can go and have some time with your friends while we are with your wife and in your home. So yes, just to give them that
Also,
respite.
one of them's got, the caretaker's gotta get out and do shopping every now and then too, because they have to bring food into the house and other
Yes.
things, so.
Yes, we do that. That's all part of it,
Yeah, and
medication
in some cases,
reminders.
they can't be alone, right?
Yes, they can be alone, so the spouse can go and do the groceries, or we can also do the groceries as well. We can pick
Nice.
them up and bring them to your home and make sure that, whatever you need, you're getting the right food. So as part of our assessments, we do all this. It's a safety assessment. We make sure that can you get groceries when you need them? Can you do, so we do all that assessment, and that's when we are able to carve out how much time you need, or what are some of the things we can put in place to reduce your risk of maybe going back into the hospital or having a fall or declining. So that's how our life profile assessment tool guides us to think about where to put in a caregiver and whether it should be like 4 hours, 2 hours, 24 hours, so that you can be independent and you can also be safe in your own home.
Excellent.
Do you supply any therapy for them if they need it?
We don't do like official professional
So
therapy.
nothing skilled.
Nothing skilled. So
Okay.
we provide non-skilled. But one thing that
Phone call. Sorry.
okay.
Hold, please.
This is early. We don't get phone
I know.
calls this early.
I'm
So I
glad.
want to really make sure we
Can we
take this.
guess who it might be?
Yes, I think it's Barry.
Oh, is it?
Go ahead, caller. You're on.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Roger, now on your senior care, is that covered by Medicare or a supplement or Mass Health?
So for now, Medicare Advantage covers it.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we're not in the Medicare space yet because we are just non-clinical, non-skilled. We are not in the Medicare space yet, and so it's either private pay, long-term care insurance, or Medicare Advantage.
So traditional Medicare wouldn't cover it?
It wouldn't cover it. We have had people who have gotten their providers have, their primary care providers have given them a referral for things like that. And so we have to go through the hoops, but we have to be able to prove that, they really need it. They can send a nurse at home for a couple of hours, but for now, for our services, Medicare doesn't cover it.
That's foolish on Medicare's part. It really is, because it costs a lot more to put them in a nursing home.
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
You think Medicare is going to cover the nursing home, and you find out it's only 90 days.
Right.
Up to. Not even. Yeah, up
Yeah.
to.
The
And
cost
I
has
mean, we
been a
got trillions
huge.
for the world, but we can't take care of people in the nursing home. But it's a bunch of craziness now.
Yeah.
Now, would like to say if a person is under hospice, do you come in and help?
We
too
do
with
come
that,
in and help.
Rosa?
So you
Yes,
can
we do.
supplement.
We
with
supplement,
private-
yes, we
private
do
help.
that, yeah, for the most part. And we have some of the hospice agencies that we work together with them. So once they need more care, they can only be there for a certain number of time, then they call us and we come in to supplement. So we can be there with them 24 hours. We can be there with them, yes, as long as they
Because
need
that's
us.
a
So.
big misconception, and I'm glad you brought that up, Barry. When people sign on to hospice, they think, oh, great, hospice will come in and we'll have all this care.
Right.
And that's not the case.
No.
Right.
So partnering with someone
Yes.
from Senior Helpers or an organization like that will help the family unit take
Right.
care of the person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And if there's like a visiting nurse, you like help with them too?
For a visiting nurse, like we'll be in the client's home while the nurses come, because most of the time we work together with them. We do a lot of medication reminders, so we have to work with the nurses. So the nurses will come. If there are any changes, they will let us know. If there are any side effects or things we'll be seeing, they'll let us know so that we don't, panic when we see those things.
Right.
So we work hand in hand with the visiting nurses so that we provide the best care for the client. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
I mean, if it's possible, could you give all your information to Kelly so she could have it at the
Sure. Yes.
at the senior center, just for the seniors in case they want to reach out to you?
Please, I'll do that. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you guys, and thank you for the information, and thank you, Harry.
Thanks
Oh,
for
Thank
okay,
you so
calling.
Barry.
much. Thanks for
Okay.
calling.
Bye bye.
Thanks for calling, Barry.
Bye.
Here's the information right here.
Excellent.
Yes, and
But I'm
I'll
sure
leave
you
some
have
brochures and-
materials.
Yes.
Because we have a wall in the main hallway of the senior center where we display brochures and information.
Yes.
Outreach stuff for people. So I would love to add you to
Thank you.
that wall of
Well, she
The
could
home.
also visit.
Wall of Fame.
Yes.
She could have a visit with you, right?
Yes, I am
absolutely.
thinking like I will
Yes.
even come over and have a
Yes.
visit with you and even see how we can help. You know,
That's
in the
right.
senior center, any activities that we can help.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're more than happy to do that.
Yes, we love to partner with agencies, and it's usually it's good for education.
Yes.
But it's also good for referrals.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's always we feel like it's a win to partner with
Always.
home care agencies and others.
There is so much out there that people don't know about.
Yes, there
Right.
is. There is.
And that's-
Until they're in
why
the
we're having you
crisis
on.
situation.
Thank
And
you.
then, yes, yeah.
Thank you. I mean, healthcare is something that you don't really think about until you really need
Do you
it.
need it? Mhm.
Right.
Yes.
That's why people don't buy long-term health insurance,
Exactly.
long-term care.
Long-term
because
care. Yep.
They figure, well, I'll make it.
Right.
But
Right.
then one day something happens.
And it's
Right.
too
Yeah.
late sometimes. Or you're scrambling and trying to pull the pieces together. To make sure that the
Yes,
person's
we see that
safe.
every day.
Yeah, of course.
We see that every day. I actually met one resource at one of the meetings that, so it's an attorney, and she tries to talk to families about how to plan for things like these because by the time we get it, it's probably almost too late. And so, yeah, that's actually one thing, another thing that we're embarking on, trying to get the families to understand that, you know, you have to think about these things and plan it because when the crisis come and then it's like, where do we get
Yeah.
money? Where? So hopefully we can get that communication out to people as well so we can start thinking about it. as
Right.
well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because-
absolutely. I mean, my mother was good to us. She died in her sleep.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my
That was a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we all have to go.
For her as well.
For her, it was
Right.
great.
She didn't
She
suffer.
didn't expect it. She went and take a nap and didn't wake up.
Wow.
Wow.
She was at my brother's house at the time.
Okay.
Wow.
But, yeah, but then again, my father, now he was sick and he had to be taken care of for,
Right.
but not for long, but for a little while.
Right.
But
Yeah.
then my father-in-law, he was sick for years.
Yeah.
Then he ended up in a nursing home.
Mhm.
But my wife Linda still went there every day and took care of him.
Of course.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that isn't, you go to nursing homes and help out too,
we
right?
do. We do.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you will do that. So,
We will do that. Yeah.
for instance, from my past experiences, I've known families that have had loved ones with like an advanced dementia.
Yes.
Where they really need like a one-to-one.
Yes.
So that's where
We do that too,
your agency
yes.
could come in.
We
Excellent.
go in and
Yeah.
just help because other assisted livings in the nursing homes, they just don't have the
They don't have the
staff and
staffing.
to do
Right.
that. And so we have been helping a lot with that. Yes.
That would
Go
be
in-
under private pay, right?
So that'll be on the private pay.
Right.
Yes.
But, well, I don't want to get into too many numbers, but it's not that expensive. It's not as bad as you might think. And, you know, if someone has a little money left, let them use it on themselves.
Right.
Right. I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that a great concept?
Yeah,
I wish a lot of
Yes.
families thought that
I
way.
know, yeah.
Yes, I wish they thought that would because yeah, I mean, at the end of your life, just use it on yourself and get the right care. And one other thing that we focus on a lot is also the quality of life. You know, when we bring somebody to your home, it's not just putting a warm body in the home.
Right.
So as part of our assessment, we have a quality of life piece where we want to know more about you. What are some of the things that you used to do before and due to normal age and you can't do anymore? And so we document all that and we have a guide that will actually help you remember some of the things. We put it down so the caregivers know and we try to match you with a caregiver that has similar interests and things like that. If you like reading, if you like listening to music, the quality of life piece is very important to us because we just want you to enjoy the later part of your life before, you know, so we really focus on quality of life, which is like a big part of our companionship.
Of course.
So you don't
You
have
become a real companion to them.
a real companion to them. We literally
And,
say
and
we are
that's
bring,
important, especially if you're alone.
right.
And
Which
if you're
is
spending so many hours with the person,
With
you
a
might as well
person,
have
right.
some enjoyment.
right,
Yeah.
you know.
From both parts.
We have clients who enjoyed gardening before and they can't do it anymore. So we have caregivers who love gardening too, and they would just like when the weather is nice, we just take them out their backyard
Nice.
and do something.
Right.
It's just the little things like that to bring them back
You'll
and
do the gardening while they watch.
while they watch, you know,
Or
and
give
if they can do,
pointers.
yeah, and if they
And
can
can
do
learn.
something, yes,
Yeah.
And teach.
Yeah,
and
Yes,
teach. They've been
yes.
teaching us a lot, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
So it's just being rewarding,
but if
and
they're immobile, they can at least watch.
yes, they can watch, you
And
know.
it's almost like they're doing it themselves too. you know.
Exactly,
You
or
just-
tell you what to do, and giving
Yeah.
that advice
Yes.
really helps them. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, so
therapeutic
you're
for
not
them.
just going in and changing bandages or
Yes,
toileting or
no,
washing.
no. So with our companion care, that's one big thing that senior helpers focus on, and every senior helpers will tell you. It's part of our life profile assessment, the quality of life piece. We have a whole booklet about, activities that you can think of that you think is going to make your life better. And so we work with the clients and their families, what did mom used to love before, and then we put in place those structures so that, it can bring them back to, it can improve that quality of life. So we focus greatly on that piece as well.
Now, and also you take care of diet-wise.
We do. So some of the basic things that we'll put us in your home is like, if you realize mom is not getting the right nutrition, because we have been in other places where, the food is brought to the room and then they leave and they probably want to cut the food, but they can't. And so you just want to make sure they're eating well, nutrition-wise, they're drinking water and not being dehydrated. We want to make sure they're taking their medication when they have to, according to the schedule. So if you go to mom's home and you realize that you see medications on the kitchen counter, in the bedroom, then there's probably time to bring somebody in there. We want to make sure they're taking their medications. We want to make sure if they're at fall risk, somebody's watching them, whatever they're doing so they don't fall. So, nutrition is very big, and water intake, hydration and everything.
Well, in some cases, they can't even feed themselves.
They can't even feed themselves, yeah. Yeah, and when they're alone, they will just either stop eating completely or, and you think like, oh, they're not really eating much lately. It's because they cannot cut the food up or things like that. So we just want to make sure they're getting the right nutrition and getting hydrated as well. So nutrition is very big for us.
Yeah, and when you get older, you need smaller portions, so it's really necessary to cut it up and to do it properly. A family member might not think, they just do it the way they eat.
Right.
And they're cutting it too large.
Right.
And then they end up either choking or getting sick.
Yeah, and even meal prep, our caregivers really help with that, grocery shopping and preparing the meals for them. We help with that, so they make sure they're getting the right nutrition that they need.
Excellent, because we find that a lot of folks just don't want to even prepare meals.
Yeah,
because they don't it's hard to prepare for one. And
for one, it's a pain in the neck.
Right, and sometimes it's like they get these frozen foods and it's like they're diabetic or hypertensive and the salt level and they don't have to. So we want a caregiver who can be like, this is not really good for you, depending on whatever you're going through or what you have for. And so they will bring in, the knowledge too about, the kind of foods you want to eat and help with the meal prep. So
you actually bring the food in.
Well, they make the food in the client's home.
Yeah,
they'll do the grocery and make the food in the client's home. And, sometimes even the clients will help us make the food, and that's good for them. If they loved cooking, it's just good for them to help out and together with the caregiver. So
could you set up a meal plan for them?
We do set up a meal plan. So when we come and do the assessment, the binder that we give the client, it has a meal plan at the back. And so we do set up a meal plan together with the family and the client. Or if the family's not close by, we call them and make sure that, you're putting the right thing in place and the caregiver is getting the right groceries in and making the food. So
especially if someone can't get out to do their shopping.
Oh, yeah.
They need someone to help them pick out what they're going to buy.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really good service.
Thank you.
What is your service area? So
right about from Holden, Worcester, Auburn, I think this whole place.
I was going to say really central Mass.
Yes.
Okay, so you go right through the Blackstone Valley.
We do. We have another office in Milford. We have another office in Natick. And so even in between where it's not really our territory. Once we have caregivers around, we can always bring them there. And we in Milford, Worcester, we're in Natick, so we are all over the place. So we cover pretty much this whole area. Wonderful. And even the Boston area as well. We cover pretty much the whole area.
I want to learn a little bit about yourself. How did you get into this business?
Okay. I was wondering when we were going to get to that.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm originally from Ghana, and from Ghana, this is not a job. This is what we do. So when I came to this country, I came here for school, and a friend of mine was like, this is something you can do over the weekend, and got me into it. And I just realized that every home I go to, they'll call the agency, they're like, can we have it come back? I'm like, okay, I think I have something in here.
Yes.
I just enjoyed caregiving.
You're a natural.
And so I also helped some agencies set up. I helped with in-service training, and I just love to do it. So at some point after school, after graduate school, I'm working, started my career at UMass and, was there for 6 years. But I always had an eye for this, the post-acute care. I worked for the ACO, so I knew, what it means to reduce, hospitalizations and reduce cost of care. And so I've always been in that space. So I started with having a little staffing agency, working with home care agencies to staff them when they have full capacity. And I always wondered when was going to be the right time for me to jump into this. But, home care is kind of common. It's all over the place. So I was just looking for that ideal company that was forward thinking, bringing something different into the industry.
Right.
And that was when I came across Senior Helpers, and with the tools that they have and, the groundbreaking things you're doing in the industry, dementia care. We have our own proprietary dementia care training program that we do, Parkinson's care.
Yeah.
We have the Life Profile is a whole groundbreaking tool on its own. It just resonated with me. It was like, this is what the future, this is it,
Good for
So
you.
I decided to serve, since I live in Worcester, serve the communities around with this great service and bring it to them. And I am just passionate about it, and I just love it. I just love taking care
Good
of
for
seniors.
you.
Well, that's the most important thing.
Yes.
If you love what you do, you never go to work.
Exactly,
true
right.
job.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, because it's a lot of work to build it from the ground up. But
Of
if you love
course.
it, it's just like every
It will evolve.
client you
Yeah.
get is like an opportunity to make a difference in this person's life. And most importantly, when I look at the families and the peace of mind they get, and it's just like, that's very fulfilling. And I'm like, I'm doing something on this earth. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yes.
And you're the owner of the franchise.
The owner of the Senior Helpers of Worcester office. So
Right.
our headquarters is in Maryland, and so for the Worcester office, I am the owner of that office.
Right.
Yes.
You have the franchise area.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, this is great.
Yes.
You really made a success out of yourself. Now, it says MBA after your name. Is that Master's in
Business Administration. Yes,
Ah.
I did my master's in business administration, but then I ended up in the healthcare field for the longest time. I was in
Yeah,
UMass
but the
for
MBA helped because you got to run the company.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Now I'm trying to put my business hat on, but yeah, even in any space in healthcare I have been, it's always been about that, administrative, that decision-making piece where you're thinking about, how to reduce cost or how to improve the
Right.
quality of care and all that. So,
How many employees do you have in your?
so for caregivers, I have a lot, over 50 caregivers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yes, and it's very interesting because you know how all the staffing challenges we're having, and so coming in at the time, I was like,
Yeah.
how am I going to employ caregivers? But
Right.
it's amazing, and Senior Helpers is actually it's a unique company on its own because we give the caregivers all the tools. We have people who
Right.
come in, they're passionate about companionship.
Yeah.
How do we help you build that pipeline and get to the next level? We have a ton of videos. We go right now, the PCA program, you can access it freely on the mass.gov website. So once they do it, you come back to our office,
Yeah.
which we have a center of excellence. So you come to my office and we have a hospital bed. It's all staged like
Oh,
a senior's
wow.
home.
Okay.
So that's where we do the skill
Training,
assessment. We
yeah.
do the training. And so we have people who have the passion. They were like, I don't know how to get the certification. Then we give you that pipeline to
Wow.
take this and come in
Okay.
here, do the skill assessment.
Yeah.
And then before we put you on the field, and depending on your level, we match you with a client who needs the skills that you have. And so it's amazing how you see people who always wanted to get into this industry but didn't know how. So that education piece, building that workforce is very important to us as well, and that's what we've been doing. And so we get the caregivers coming in, and so we're very excited about that. We have a ton of
Yes.
caregivers, yes.
It's good that you have a company like that, because to be able to do that all by yourself would be almost impossible.
It will be impossible. So, yeah, we have different platforms. We use the Reliance platform for our training. It has a ton of training. And our life profile, the assessment tool, also has training. So if we do the life profile and we're bringing a caregiver to your home, we know the areas where you need help with or you need assistance.
yeah.
And so we send the caregivers those trainings to even watch it, even though they are CNAs, home health aides, they have the experience already. We just want to make sure that you're doing it the Senior Helpers way. So
Right.
we send you those trainings to watch before you go to the client's home. And so,
Exactly.
I mean, that has been the success story, and that has helped us prep and give out the caregivers the equipment they need. Dementia care, for instance, I told you about our proprietary program. And so we have this wheel, we call it the dementia wheel, where depending on the stage where the client is, the caregiver can turn the wheel to that stage. It will tell you the symptoms you're going to see, strategies that you will see, things to avoid and things to implement that will help you. So if a person is with a dementia patient in their home, they always have this tool to guide them as to what they should do. What am I seeing? Is it different from what I'm supposed to be seeing?
Right.
When do I report it? You know, so they are able to cope and they're able to go through their day because we give them the tools they need. And so I mean, we make sure the caregivers have the arsenal.
Yes, as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
you all have
wonderful.
to be licensed as well, right?
Yes. Well,
this state.
for home care is not licensed. Home health is licensed. Yes, but because we are part of a franchise, we have to do the things like a licensed state. And that's one of the greatest things with going with a franchise or somebody hiring someone through an agency instead of a private, because we have to follow the rules.
Yes.
The franchise will make you do all the things that you have to do to
Right.
make sure you're doing the right thing. So, yeah, we make sure our caregivers are well trained before we put them in a client's home.
The other thing is too, you're screening these people
We
when you
are.
hire them.
We
That's
are.
that's a big factor.
Oh,
We
it's
are.
huge.
We are.
Yes.
We are screening them. We're doing the background checks, the query checks, because you're bringing a stranger to your
Yes.
home, and you want to
Yeah.
make sure that somebody.
There has to be a level of trust and.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we're going there to oversee their work and making sure they're doing the right thing
Right.
before they clock out of their shift. You'll ask them a few questions about, the tasks for the day, whether they did it or not. And so you have this body overseeing the caregiver to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. So.
You hear of incidents where healthcare people came into a home
And take
and
advantage,
took,
yeah.
Oh,
took
yeah.
money, took
You
checks.
hear that a
Stealing,
lot.
yeah.
Yep. You
Yeah.
hear that a lot. and
Even
so.
you might even steal appliances or things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right,
You
yeah.
hear that a
If they have
lot.
that act, yeah.
Yes, and our caregivers are insured, bonded, we are insured, so.
Yeah, so if for any reason you've got a bad egg, you're gonna take care of the situation.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's the assurance for the families.
Yes, I mean, it's very important, it's very tough, it's a very hard thing to decide.
Right,
It definitely is, and
It's
a lot of
daunting
people
for
have a hard time
caregivers.
opening up their home to
Yes.
what
Yes.
they consider a strange person.
Yes,
Not
yes.
strange, but
Yep.
a stranger.
a stranger,
That
exactly.
it's and some people are extremely private, so
Right.
it's hard for them to accept.
Right.
And then the fact that they're not able to continue to care for themselves, that's a huge thing too. So to have all this happening, it's a lot for people.
It is a lot for people, and like
Yeah.
you said, I always try to make this analogy that, it's like when you go to the hospital, or when you're admitted at the hospital, it's like, the message of the nurses and the doctors, and so that is why it's important that you go with a trusted company,
Right.
because it's
Yes.
like bringing in somebody who is trained to do this kind of work,
Right.
and not just opening your doors to anyone. People who are background checked, they're screened. We want to make sure they can do what they say they want to do, and then they have this affiliation with a strong brand and the strong company. So we want to make sure we are putting in the right person in your home to take care of you.
Especially if you got someone who's there 24 hours.
Right.
Oh yes.
That's-
Oh yeah.
So do
But-
you consistently keep the same person as a live-in, or do you rotate people?
So per Massachusetts laws, it's like,
Yeah.
there's a point where the person is doing overtime, and so normally for a living case, we put on two people.
Okay.
Somebody working for 4 days, somebody working for 3 days, so they can choose to alternate, but
Okay.
because the caregivers build this kind of relationship and this bond with the clients, we try to keep that consistency with the clients and the caregivers, so that
But even two, that's perfect.
two is, that's what we always
Yeah.
do when
I
it comes
can
to a living.
understand though, I mean, 24 hours care, those people need a relief too. They have family, they want to be with
Right,
with
you
their
know,
family.
that
Right.
social life, yes.
Yeah.
So they need some time off.
Yes.
They can't be
Yeah.
there all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
it's not like you actually were part of their family.
Right,
Right.
it's true,
Yeah.
yes, so we try
So-
to put in two people for a living case, so,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that way too, they can get some time off during the week, a day off or whatever.
right, right.
But now, in some cases, you have to have a key to the house because a person, so they can get in when the doors are locked.
So it depends if the person
But you'll
cannot.
do that, right?
Yes, if the person cannot come to the door and open
Right.
the door, they want to make sure the caregiver can get in. We've heard stories where, the caregiver gets there, knocks for a long time, nobody comes out to open the door, and
Right.
eventually they find out. So, if the person lives alone, they cannot come to the door, we want to make sure that the caregiver can come in and
Yeah.
can go out, yes.
The other thing too, yeah, that's a good point. If someone's at least checking on people,
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a program that we call, we can just go in. We have families who live like probably in another state and their parents live here and they're older. And they can sometimes tell, can you just check in once a week? Just go in there,
Right. Oh,
check in on them
wonderful.
for us. Yeah, so we have those programs as well. That you don't
Yes.
have to go there because they don't need the care. But they want an extra set of eyes, going in there to check on them. And so we can stop in 1 week just for an hour or 45 minutes, just chat with them,
Wonderful.
make sure things are not changing. And when we see things are changing and the family needs to know, we can report it to them. So
Yeah.
we do that as well.
That's a good
So-
point,
Right.
yeah, because
Yes.
a lot of families, people get jobs elsewhere,
Mhm.
and they're not close by,
Right.
and then the parent or whoever else it is, they don't want to say anything.
Right.
They may have a problem, they won't say it, well, I don't
Right.
want to disturb them, they have to come
No,
out here.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Normally we
So
think
then,
about
if you
yeah.
get someone going in and say, I haven't been feeling good because of this or that, well, we'll have this checked out, let's get you to the doctor.
Right.
Right.
Things like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll just call the family. Like, I want to see your parents today. I can see a little decline in mom's,
Right.
cognitive abilities and stuff. So we can give an objective view of what we saw. Are things okay? Are things
Mm-hmm.
getting worse? So then the family can make that decision because, like you said, normally, and we see that a lot. We don't want to bother them. We don't want them to
Right.
take time off their work. Work and come and see us. So they try to keep things to themselves. So
Right.
it gets worse. And so
Yeah, they could be
Yes.
very sick and not tell anyone.
Right,
Right,
right. And that's when we would do that weekly. We're just stopping to see how they're doing. And,
Yeah.
Mom, somebody will be coming to check on you and then let you know what's going on. So
Yeah.
that's actually another service that we have that people are not taking advantage of,
Right.
So it's very important that you have someone watching them.
You have situations where they get so close to the people, they almost become family.
Oh, yes. While I was in school and I was doing this over the weekend, I have families that up until this day, we always do Thanksgivings together. We always
Oh,
do,
my.
yeah, yes, you
You
just
actually
become
became a
so,
family member.
you become,
Oh,
yes, you just
of
get so
course.
close.
Yeah.
The lady I took care of passed away since 2014, but we're just like family. We're still like family.
Right.
We meet up in Boston for, lunch and stuff and everything.
Yeah.
And they've been very supportive of me starting this. They
Yes.
just were so happy
Oh,
for
I
me.
bet,
And
yeah.
so, yes, most of the time, that's what happens. You become like family to them
Yeah.
because
Even after
Yeah.
the patient may pass on.
their kids become like family to
Of
you.
course.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you
Yeah.
think about the level of care and trust and all of that.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
You become a part of their lives.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
But good point about you saying about how you did that, or how you did this job on the weekends when you were in school.
Yes.
What a wonderful job for a student that needs the flexibility.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Or on the other end, if you're just retiring and not ready to just sit back and
Right.
retire,
Right.
this could be a nice little job for somebody that's
Yeah. We're
Um,
always hiring. So
yeah.
reach out
because
to
I'm
us.
sure you have a lot of flexibility too in
Yes.
terms of what hours and
Hours
Uh, You
and how
do.
much you have to do, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How much you have to do, what hours you want to work. So
Right.
normally when caregivers come in to fill applications, that's what we ask them, when can you work? And then we try to get some consistency,
Right.
the hours that you are available to work. But yeah, no, like you said, I did that when I was in school and it was like, it pays good. It was great. And you just meet people and you just learn so much from them.
Oh,
It's just,
definitely.
it's amazing and very rewarding.
Yes.
So you could do something like they call mother's hours, where you work while kids are in school,
Oh yeah.
Yes,
but then when it's school vacation or summer vacation, they have time off.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fantastic, because that's a problem
Exactly.
for a lot of
Yes.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know if school's gonna be called out because of snow. or-
Right,
Yes.
right,
But you get vacations, you have holidays,
right.
Right.
so you can work around that.
Yes, we can work around that
Yeah.
schedule. Yeah. And we have a lot of people, we have young mothers who want to do this work and
Mm.
they're only available from 9 to 1. Great. We have
Yeah.
short
that
shifts like
fills
that.
gaps where
It
you
does.
have them.
It does fills gap. And yeah, so we do that. We work around their schedule.
Yeah.
It's actually I always feel like it's just the best thing. It's just, sometimes I tell the younger people, it's like, go get your home health aid. It's certificate. It only takes 3 weeks and have that. It's such a rewarding job. You can,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
have the flexibility. You can do that. You can do that over the
Definitely.
weekends. You can do that. So, yeah, I'll do that over and over and over again.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah.
When you came here to go to school, what were you planning on for a career?
So I was actually planning to be, interestingly, I had always kind of have a thing for the healthcare industry. Where I'm coming from, it's like you don't have the opportunity like you have here
Right,
when it
right.
comes to healthcare. So I remember when I was in the business class, and I always wanted to go to the healthcare management class, but it's like only 5 people in that class. It's like, okay. So when I came here, even doing my MBA, I actually took a lot of classes in healthcare management. And so I always knew I wanted a space in the healthcare field, but I just wasn't sure how. And so I started, I did a fellowship at UMass, and I rotated in different departments, like senior leadership
Nice.
departments. And so that gave me a good understanding of like, what healthcare is about. And there's so many areas in healthcare that you can fit in, right? No
Yeah.
matter your background. And so I got, I was in finance a little bit, I was in HR a little bit, I was on the floor in the ER a little bit, seeing what goes on
Nice.
there and doing process improvement things. So that fellowship actually gave me perspective. And so I ended up in their ACO department, where I was there for almost 7 years, which was like more about how do we improve the quality of care?
Right.
How do we take care of people even when they go home?
Exactly.
The post-acute setting, and make sure they are safe so they don't return back to the hospital. So all these little experiences were actually like,
gave you great groundwork.
for-
Absolutely.
Yes.
It gives you a great background.
right for this. And so when I'm talking about it, I'm so passionate about it, and
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
and I
Right.
did it too. I was a caregiver, and so it's
Exactly.
like I know
So
how the
all
care
of these
right,
things,
right.
yeah.
Right.
I know how the caregivers feel. I know how hospitals are feeling. I know how families are feeling. I know how the patient feels going back into the hospital, and making sure that we put in place the right care for them to stay at home and age
Right.
in their own space. And so everything comes together, and I'm just like
That's amazing.
fired up.
You're married?
I am married with 2 boys.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes, 2 boys. So
and where you live in Worcester? Or?
we live in Worcester. Yes.
Ah, okay.
So that's my community.
Now, how does your husband feel about your job? Because it must take a lot of hours.
It takes a lot of hours, and so I was able to kind of reel him into it.
Oh, good. Oh, even better.
I know.
It's a team effort.
I know. At some point, he was like, I know you're passionate about this. I know you
Yeah.
want to do it. It doesn't even help doing it on the side. Let's just do it. Let's
Yeah.
just do it. Because if you don't do it, I don't think you're ever going to forgive yourself.
Right.
So let's just do
That's
it.
good.
So
He's
I
very
am
supportive of you.
right. I am
Yeah.
so lucky.
Yeah.
There are times that I'm like, hey, I'm so busy doing this. Can you go out there and go do marketing? And he just like, okay, I'm gonna try. And he just
Right.
grabs the things and he's out of the door. So we all trying to make it work.
Yeah.
He'll be home at 3, making sure the kids get home
Nice.
whilst I'm running around. And so
Yeah, that's the other thing. You
I
have
am
to
so
work
lucky.
out a schedule because
Right.
Yeah.
With the
you want
kids and
someone
everything.
there when the boys come home.
Yes,
Right,
so I am
yeah.
very, very lucky. I have a very supportive family, and the kids,
Yeah.
like, they won't see mom for most of the day, and they will see me coming around 7, and they're jumping and excited,
Of
and I'm like,
course.
okay,
Yeah.
so they're thinking
Yeah.
How
about
old
me.
are
So
your boys?
6 and 4.
Oh,
So-
right.
Oh,
yes,
Fun ages.
yes, 6
Yeah.
and 4. So,
Yeah.
I have 2 boys.
oh,
And so
okay.
do I.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, so we're all together here.
there you go. Yes, yeah,
Guys
the
are a
boys.
lot older.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get there someday because,
It
yeah,
goes
when,
by fast.
that's
so,
what everybody
yeah,
says. Yeah, when
yeah,
they're
just
younger, it's just
Enjoy it.
It does
Yeah.
fly.
It
Oh
does.
my God. When
Yeah.
you look back, you say, where did the time go?
I know. I don't know. No.
I know. Even looking at them right now, it's like when did you?
Yeah, they're not babies.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
babies anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, the time flies. Yes.
It does, but this is also a great that you're your own boss, so you do have some flexibility there, and some right.
Some.
Yeah.
Some
yeah.
for now.
But it requires more hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's true. I know I'm happy I can put them on the bus before heading over there, and
Yeah.
on Saturdays. Sometimes I'm in the office on Saturdays, and
Oh,
I go with
right.
them to the office.
Yeah.
And they're just watching me work and asking me questions, and
Right.
it's very exciting for them to
That's
see.
good for them to see that.
Yes, and to see us building this great thing from the ground up, and
Yes.
there are times I'm telling my older boy, things about what we are doing for this man to make sure that he's strong again,
Right.
and having those things and those conversations
life
at a very
lessons.
life lessons at a very young age. I mean, I'm
Yes.
just blessed to be in this position and to be able to have my kids watch me build this thing
Right.
that I'm passionate about and
Yes.
build it with my family. So yes,
Yeah.
Yes. Family's very important.
yes, very.
Yes.
And my wife worked nights and I worked days. So we brought up our kids. So she was there to get them off to school.
Right,
Right.
And when they came home from school, then she would go to work and I would come home.
right.
I'd get
Exactly.
home to take care of them. But I got to know them
Mhm.
because I was with them
Of
too.
course.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It was
know.
your quality time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make it work.
You make it work. I know you got to make it work, and I even love, like, even when I have to be there over the weekends and I can take them with me to the office
Exactly.
and see. Yeah, so it's just great to make it work that way. And,
Yes.
I bet you find they like seeing you at work too. They like going to your job, don't
They do like
Yeah.
it. They do like. Sometimes
course.
they mess up the place out. You're not coming here again, but it's
Yeah.
yeah. But they do like going there. And my youngest would be like, "Daddy, where's mommy? Is she still at work? She's in the office." So he kind of
Right.
pieces them together. It's
They
like,
can make the
she's in the
connection.
office. She's working, and so
Right.
it's they also learn. I'm hoping they're learning the hard work and
Right.
all
And
that
that
it
it pays
takes to
off.
yes, all that it takes to build this, and it's exciting. It's exciting.
Now-
A lot of work, but exciting.
Do you have any other family members here?
Well, my mom is here, so
Oh,
she
nice.
helps me.
Oh, okay,
She
that's
helps
a
me
big
out a
help.
lot.
Oh, good.
It does help. She helps me out a lot. So, I mean, yeah, my husband is always home with the boys, but then she's also there. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, I am just fortunate and I'm lucky and I'm just
Yeah.
taking advantage of all the good things that I
Absolutely.
have and making it work for me. So,
Yeah.
yes. And sometimes, she does caregiving for me as well because she's also a home health aide. And so, like, it works out.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, she's a health aide too.
Yes.
It's,
Oh.
it's a family affair.
It's a family
Really?
thing, so
Yeah.
it really
Yeah.
does help out too. Yes, so we just built for this.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
Yeah, you're gonna see. One day it's gonna be. I've been doing this for 30 years.
I
and that's gonna be it's gonna happen.
Maybe it
know.
will be another franchise. Maybe it will
Maybe.
grow from here.
maybe, maybe. I know. I am just, and I'm also so big about the community as well. So this past Valentine's Day, we just wanted to shed some light on senior loneliness and isolation.
Oh, yes.
So what we did was like we reached out to the community, asked them to donate Valentine's Day cards, and we went to the different senior centers and the
Nice.
assisted livings, and we gave it to
Yeah.
them, and the joy, So
Oh.
Absolutely.
yeah, whatever we can do in the community to help seniors. Education on today, I had somebody reach out to me about how we can make Holden, bring the awareness of dementia into Holden, with our population. And so
Yeah.
I am so excited to work with them on creating that awareness, bringing in education and
Yes.
resources to help the community. So
Right.
I am very big on, the community involvement as well. Whatever we can do
Wonderful.
to make seniors happy. It's all about the money and the business, You got to have fun.
You
and
gotta find the balance.
You got to find the balance and make
Right.
sure that they know you really care about them, which is like the driving force,
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of them just want to be recognized. Hey, I'm still here. I'm still
Right,
living.
Exactly.
I'm a
right.
human
And I
being.
have a lot to offer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people have lost almost all their friends, and they're in so just
Right.
recognizing them and making them feel loved and know that
Yes.
they're also there is very important. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Seniors today, though, don't feel like seniors.
Well, yeah.
I know, I'm one. I just don't feel I'm a senior.
Yes. Well, I think we're living longer, healthier, and
Taking good care of
taking
ourselves.
good care of exactly, and that's where I also say that's where we come into, when you start with like just a companion at home for the things that you enjoy doing but you can't do anymore.
Right.
Even, going out to the park or walking when it's beautiful and making sure you're safe and everything, because we are living longer and we just have to keep up quality of life up. So
Well, I think my secret is I keep working.
Yes.
I retired from my career job 23 years ago
wow.
and had 3 jobs since.
It's important.
That's important. Yeah, it keeps you going.
Yeah. I have a reason to get up every morning. and
Right.
That's
Things
right.
to do and objectives to meet.
Exactly.
And that's
and
why
keeping
that's
the
why it
brain
keeps you going.
and-
Yeah, it keeps your mind going.
Yes. Yep.
It does. It does.
Definitely.
Yeah. So even like I said before, that quality of life piece when you go to a senior's home, just trying to stimulate the brain and just stimulate them by,
Yes.
music, reading, whatever
Right.
that they used to do before. Trying to get them to get back to that helps and
Yes. Yeah.
keeps them healthy.
Do you have any of your people play instruments? And
So that's actually very interesting. So that is something that we are working on with the colleges too. I reached out to a few of them. So we have these kids, even we started with the high school kids and it was like,
Oh, wow.
I know hospice will
like-
do that.
yes, hospice
Yeah.
would do that. So
Yes.
I think, so for the assisted livings and other senior living facilities, COVID broke some of these things. Like COVID kind of
Right.
interrupted some of these activities, and so we've been having conversations with them, trying to work with the schools to, if they have this music department or
Yes.
kids who play the instruments,
Yes.
we're trying to set up these things in these assisted living, the memory care units, having a memory cafe, a Bible cafe, whatever we can do
Right.
to just give them something to look forward to. So we're actually working with some of the schools to get these things back into that community. And if I have a kid who wants to go to a client's home and play the keyboard for them, great, we can do that
I
as
just read
well.
an article
Exactly.
about that.
Yes, that's wonderful.
About the fact that by a scientist that's doing research on dementia.
Yes.
And music actually helps to stimulate the brain
Absolutely.
and brings them back.
Yes.
Today I was actually at a client's home and she was having, the sundowning and having that, and it was so interesting. It's like I put on the music and within like 10 minutes, you can see the change from
Yes.
being upset to
And
calming
recalling
down
the words.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really works. And actually that's why I got the idea of like, how do we work with some of these
Yes.
students who want to go play somewhere or who want to
Right.
go and bring them to the homes and to these facilities to get them going, the memory care units and to get them going. So that's actually a project that I'm working on right now, trying
Nice.
to reach out to the police departments. They get these calls every time about
yeah.
they're lonely, and so we are like, okay, who are some of the people that we can visit? We can give an hour of companion either for free or just spend some time with them. We can go in there and do a safety assessment to make sure that
Right.
their homes are safe and anything that is a
Very
hazard.
important factor.
Yes.
Especially
Yes.
For elderly, because their home might have been all right when they were younger,
Exactly.
Right.
but now you got to get rid of those rugs that slide.
Thank you. Yes, yes. So that's the common thing that we see. We're like, I know you love this rug, but
You
Exactly.
might need to add some handles in the bathroom.
Exactly.
Exactly,
Another
yes.
adaptive,
Yes.
modified
Mhm,
equipment just to make it
Right.
safer but continue to be independent in their homes.
Right. So when we do the life profile assessment, it also gives us, things we can put in the home
Right.
to make it safer for them. So we can print that out,
Yeah.
give it to the family, give it to the client. And so, one thing we're working on with the police departments and stuff, if you get these falls and you get these calls,
Yes.
we can just go and do a free home assessment for them
Right.
and try and give them, suggestions of things that will help them to age like safely in their own home.
What
So,
a great
yes.
community resource
Yes.
that is, and police departments, I'm sure, would welcome that because they're stretched out as it is. So when they
Yes.
come upon an older person who they see is struggling, I mean, what do you do?
What do you
And
do?
you
Right.
have some answers
Yes.
right
Yes.
there. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a job for the police and the fire department.
It is. The police and the fire department. It's just,
Yeah.
they get a lot of calls,
they do. They
Yeah.
do.
Well, I know
Yeah.
we have 2 ambulances in the police fire department, and they're constantly
We're
gone.
busy.
Oh,
Our
wow.
community is very busy with
Yes.
emergency calls, and I also have a great partnership with the fire department
Mm-hmm.
and EMS, and they come right down to my office when they've got somebody who
Yes.
they're concerned about.
Mhm.
So that again, we've built a great relationship
Yes,
of
very
all right,
important.
who do we know family? Can we figure out if they're connected with any agencies? If they're
Right.
not, we make the referrals
Right.
and.
Very important.
Yeah,
very,
it
very
is.
important.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yes, we have very good senior staff in this town that helps the seniors.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of seniors in this town. I think we
We
have
do.
a larger senior population, percentage-wise, than a lot of towns.
We
Interesting.
do. We have a big number of
Wow.
seniors.
That's interesting. I didn't know the
And,
statistics.
and it's growing.
And it's
Yeah.
growing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they keep hanging on like myself.
Exactly. We're keeping them healthy.
Right. Keeping them
And
healthy.
active
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's great to have some of these resources out there that we can, and our assessments are free. So it's like,
Right.
it doesn't hurt to tell,
No.
us to come over
There's
and do an
no
assessment to help
financial
them.
obligation,
Yeah,
but it might
no.
turn
Right,
into
right, something else. Maybe
Exactly.
now all we need to do is to put like a rail there or
Right.
something small. But then in the future, as they get they need more care, they might reach out, and so you
Sure.
give back, and it'll come back in return.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so.
Yeah. We're getting close to the hour, so I want
Okay.
Oh,
how
really?
do people get? Oh, yeah, see how fast it goes.
See, very quick.
Wow.
Everybody says a whole hour. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
What are we going to talk about? Okay.
But we managed to do it.
Yes. yes.
But why don't you get your information out on how to contact
Right.
yourself or your company?
Yeah, so our office number is 508-425-4909.
Give that again.
508-508-425-4909. And my cell phone number is 978-514-5477. 978-514-5477.
Well,
And you can
are
also...
committed. You give out your
I
cell
was
phone.
gonna say, you just gave your cell phone number out. Wow.
Yeah, and also you can visit us at our website. It's www.seniorhelpers.com/MA/Worcester. Seniorhelpers.com/MA/Worcester.
Worcester.
So,
Yeah, so you get the right agency.
yes. So, yeah, or you can contact Harry and Kelly. They'll reach out to me. And
Yes.
so, yeah, we're here for the community. So anything, if you're thinking about, we know it can be a daunting decision thinking about, do I get somebody in? Even if you're in the initial process of thinking about it, just reach out and we can guide you through. Use us as a resource. We can educate you, guide you through. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going with this agency,
No.
but we are here for you. We can guide you through it. Like I said, we can just come and do a free in-home assessment
Right.
for you to see the risky areas and what you can put in place to be safe. We can do that for you free, and
Oh,
you can make
wow.
the decision after that. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so if you've got an
wonderful.
elderly person that you're taking care of, that's good contact you to make sure everything, and they may find it's not as expensive as they think to have someone to come in.
Yes, and like I even said in the beginning, with senior helpers, with a guide of our life profile tool, we just give you just about the care that you need.
Right.
So we will start with something small. It can be like 4 hours a day, or twice or 3 times a week. We will start with something small. Try to put in place like care when you need it,
Right.
at the
Right.
time that is risky for you, or the things that we want to improve to make sure you are safe at home. And so we can start small, and with time, as you need more care. Sometimes if people are coming home from the hospital or from a rehab, you can see they might need more care in the
It could
beginning.
be on a temporary basis too.
Exactly.
Until you get back to
Right.
normal.
Stronger.
Right, yeah, we
Yeah.
have a surgery assistance program, so when you're coming home from surgery or things like that, you're coming home with new equipment, new
Right.
toys,
Yeah.
that you're not really familiar with, whether it's going to go through that hallway or we
Right.
can have somebody in there. Hours may be more at that point, but then
Yeah.
as you get better, you get
You can
PT,
scale
OTE,
back.
and we can scale back on that as well. So you're not like people think about, we have to put somebody in my home for 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours. No, we just give you just as much as you need to make you safe at your
Right.
own
Right.
home. Yes.
That was a good point though on apparatus, on using new equipment.
Yes.
I did the interview on the radio with the people from Apple Home Equipment, and the thing they said, people buy stuff online now, they get it, they don't know what
They
to
don't
do
know how
with
to
it.
do it. Yeah, or how
Right.
to use it. Yeah.
That's why you're better off to go local
Right.
and have someone come in and show you what to do,
Right.
and you will do that.
Right. And yeah, and even with some of the equipment, we can tell you it's not safe. You know how some of the hand rails or the showers,
Right.
some of them will just slip right through. So we just come there and be like, this is not the safest thing. Even your walker, we want you to know that the wheels are inside and not outside,
Right.
because
Yeah.
it gives you extra room. People used to use the tennis balls at the
Oh,
back of their
yeah.
walkers. It's been proven that it's not the safest as it wears out. So now we have the
Right.
skis,
Oh,
right?
I love the skis,
The
yeah.
skis are amazing. So
Yeah.
we can give you like little things like that, how, is it your walker too high or too low? We can give you like advice like that. And
Yes,
so,
yes, the people, when my landlord will see someone using a walker, they're not using that walker right.
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 Yeah, they're not, either they were told how to use it and they didn't pay any attention.
Attention
Right.
or,
Yeah.
And nobody's correcting them.
No,
Right.
And
exactly.
they're actually making themselves worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And getting into some bad habits.
Yep.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we train our caregivers how to see some of these risk factors. And for our center of excellence, when you come, it's like the way it's staged, we will try to tell us what is wrong with, the setting.
Right.
What is the risk? What is
right.
not so we try to get them to have those eyes for things like that. So a caregiver can come in and they can be like, you know what, I saw Mr. A's walker. I think we need to do something about it. So they have the eyes to see those risk factors as well and let us know so we can help
Right.
you be safe.
I never understood
Nice.
the tennis balls. Why would you have to put them on there? If they were necessary, it would have came with them. Really, is it? I
True.
mean,
But
would be-
it was the helping to slide.
To slide,
you know,
yes.
slide. Yeah,
You
but
know,
these skis are wonderful.
The skis are wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Skis are wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that came later, right?
Yes, much
Yeah,
later.
much later.
Manufacturers found that they're putting tennis balls, so they came up with the ski
Right, the
idea.
skis, yes. They are way safer than the,
Well,
because the tennis balls, they
back then,
wear.
were you supposed to pick it up?
The walker?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to pick it up.
You're not supposed to, and that's what people were doing if they didn't have. Well, see, that's where the tennis balls would kind of help, just so you wouldn't have to pick it
Yeah.
up and
Right,
go.
and it
So
would
you
just
could
go.
just slide like you're supposed to. But
Right. And you know, when we come to your home, we look at all those things, the thresholds, you know, are
Yeah.
they safe? Can the
Right.
walker easily go over it? So we look at all that, you know. Can
Yeah.
you get safely into your home and is the how many flight of stairs do you have to climb? Is it
Okay.
safe?
Right.
And things like that.
Well,
So-
the bathroom's probably the most dangerous
Oh,
place in the
yes.
house.
definitely.
The bathroom.
Yeah.
Especially if you got ceramic tile,
Right.
which is always slippery. And you
Yeah.
got the bathtub is
if
slippery.
you don't have
Yep.
the railings, the
You don't have-
rails,
yep.
and
Yeah.
So then we'll
Um,
come in and we'll be like,
yeah.
you need a bench in here. You know, you
Yes.
sit right there.
Yeah.
We can slide you in and
Yeah.
yes, so
Yeah.
we can help you make those decisions as well.
Even if you're gonna walk in, you gotta have certain things that be safe to walk in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. many factors.
many factors, yes. We want to make sure you're safe in your own home if you want to stay home. So
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
what we do.
Isn't there a situation, some of the walk-in tubs with the door, that people have opened the door with the water in it?
Oh,
Oh.
I don't know if, I think they
Yeah.
put a latch on it now, you can't do that, but,
probably. Yeah.
you know, you imagine what you do to your bathroom
Oh,
floor?
Right,
true.
I know.
That would be
God.
a little bit of a flood situation.
Right.
Yeah.
And then risk for falls.
So, I
Yes.
mean, you really need to be trained to use this stuff.
Yes,
Oh,
you have
yeah.
to be trained. Yes, you have to be trained. You have to get the right caregiver who knows these tools and how they
Right.
work so they can also help you.
And gets
Use them.
educated regularly
Yes.
from the company that they work
Yes.
for, which is, I think that's dynamic. that
Yes,
you're
new
always
things come
teaching.
up all the time. You know,
Right.
look at Hoyer lifts. Look at how
Oh,
Hoyer lifts
yeah.
have changed over the years. So we
Yes.
just want to make sure you're up to date with the current
Right.
equipment and you know how to use them.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, even adding little things in the bathroom, sometimes, you know, when you get older, the toilet's too low.
Yes.
So you have to add,
The
but
toilet
make
seat.
sure you get the right one.
Right.
You
make
want
sure
to,
it's
you want to
fixed
make it too
properly.
high either.
Right.
No.
I know the recliner chairs. Everybody thinks, oh, you can just go buy one at any furniture store.
No.
No, it's not. That's what they were talking about. They really need to be set for you.
Right,
You need it
right.
made for you,
Made for you. Yeah.
or you're going to hurt yourself more
Right,
than help yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
And these things are all the things that you would help with.
Yes, these are all the things we'll help with. We come in, we do the assessment, look at everything that you're using in the home
Yeah.
and make sure it's safe. And
One
make
last time,
recommendations.
why don't you give your phone number and your website again before we go?
Yes, my phone number is, our office phone number is 508-425-4909. 508-425-4909. And my cell phone number is 978-514-5477. 978-514-5477.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you. I had so much fun.
Yeah, next month we're gonna do it on the second Thursday because I have a special show before the town meeting.
Okay. That sounds great.
So
Thank you.
we'll see you next,
Thanks, Harry.
next month on Senior Info.